What if one of the world's oldest civilizations, a controversial democracy, nuclear ambitions, Donald Trump, Israel, and the global oil market all collided into one conflict? That's the story of Iran. Part 1. A quick history. To understand today's war, we need to go back. Iran was once ruled by a king known as the Shah, who was supported by the United States. But in 1979, the Iranian Revolution overthrew the Shah and created the Islamic Republic of Iran. Since then, Iran and the United States have been rivals. Iran became a theocratic republic. People vote for a president and parliament, but ultimate power rests with the supreme leader and religious institutions. Critics argue that Iran is not a full democracy because key candidates and policies are controlled by the religious establishment. Over the decades, tensions grew over Iran's nuclear program, regional influence, sanctions, and support for armed groups across the Middle East. Part 2. Enter Donald Trump. In 2015, Iran signed a nuclear deal with world powers. But during his first presidency, Donald Trump withdrew the United States from that agreement and imposed tough sanctions on Iran. Trump argued the deal was too weak and did not stop Iran's long-term nuclear ambitions. Iran argued the U.S. broke its commitments. Relations continued to deteriorate, and years of failed negotiations, sanctions, and military incidents pushed both sides closer to confrontation. Part 3. The War. In early 2026, tensions exploded. The United States and Israel launched major strikes against Iranian military and leadership targets, citing concerns about Iran's nuclear program and regional security. Iran responded with missile and drone attacks against Israel, U.S. facilities, and regional targets. One of the biggest consequences was disruption around the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important oil shipping routes. When oil traffic is threatened there, the entire world pays attention because energy prices, shipping costs, and inflation can all be affected. The conflict quickly expanded beyond a simple military clash and became an economic and geopolitical crisis affecting the Middle East and global markets. Part 4. The impact the war caused. Higher energy and shipping risks, pressure on global food supplies, regional instability, humanitarian concerns across the Middle East. The United Nations and aid organizations warned that disruptions to energy routes and trade have contributed to worsening economic conditions in many countries. For investors, the biggest concerns were oil prices, inflation, stock market volatility, supply chain disruptions. Part 5. Where are we today? Today, the war has largely shifted from active large-scale fighting to diplomacy and negotiations. A fragile ceasefire exists, and discussions continue over Iran's nuclear program, sanctions relief, and reopening key trade routes like the Strait of Hormuz. However, major disagreements remain, meaning the situation is still uncertain. Donald Trump says a framework for peace is close, while critics argue many difficult issues remain unresolved. Regional powers are also pushing both sides toward a more permanent settlement. Ending. So the Iran war is not just about Iran. It's about oil, global trade, nuclear weapons, Middle East power politics, and the balance between diplomacy and military force. And while the shooting may have slowed, the political battle over what comes next is far from over. The real question now is not who won the war, but whether a lasting peace can be achieved.